Hey everyone, welcome to the first video on Godot Dev Checkpoint. I'm Spaghetti Syntax, and if you're new to game development, I think this is going to be a good place to start if you want to learn Godot. I'm also a curious developer. I'm going to learn a lot of this engine right alongside you. Today, we're going to tackle the fundamentals. How to get the engine, how to start your first project, and we're going to demystify the core concepts of nodes and scenes for the both of us. Ready? Let's dive in and get set up. We're going to make our way to godotengine.org. And here we're going to find the download latest. We're going to do that. We're going to find two engines here. Now, which one do we want? We're going to want the standard one. That's going to use your GD script. They both use GD script, but this one also uses C#. If you're more familiar with that, this might feel more at home, and you can extend with your C# knowledge. But we're not going to do that here. Maybe in a later tutorial, but we're going to stick with the normal Godot engine, and we're currently on version 4.5.1. So go ahead and get that downloaded.
Now, after downloading, you can go to where you downloaded it. Then you can move it to a folder you want to use it in. I put mine in my code folder. And then the version we just downloaded, you want to right-click, extract all. Then you're going to extract it to the same folder you want to be in. Now, I've already done that. Mine is right here. This is where our exe file lives. Then we're not going to open the console. We're going to open the stable version. Now, after you open it, you'll get the Godot window.
Once you open the Godot editor, you're going to create a new project right here. Yours will probably be blank with no projects below it if you've never done any Godot projects. Regardless, top left here, we're going to create, and we're going to give it a memorable name like first Godot project. We also want to put it in a blank folder. You can pick one, like I have Godot projects here and Godot tutorials. We're going to put it here with nothing else. Select this current folder. Now we also want to look at these renderers. It might be confusing at first, but really we're just going to go with the forward plus for 99% of our projects. You can do mobile if you want to do mobile, and this will be fine for what we're going to make. It's just going to be a 2D thing. Compatibility, older devices, and it's going to render faster for the simple stuff. We can still even use this, but it's really going to throttle some things if you want to expand more. But it really doesn't matter in the end because you can change it whenever, however, even after your project's already done. For today, we're just going to do forward plus or mobile, but forward plus will stick with that. Git, that's GitHub, repositories, version control. We don't have to worry about that. We can leave that as defaults, and we're going to leave edit now. So when we click create, this will just open up our first Godot project. The first thing we're faced with are nodes. What are nodes? Well, nodes are going to be your fundamental building blocks, basically, of your game. Think of them as specialized objects. You have nodes for displaying images like Sprite 2D. You also have ones handling sound, control physics bodies, and ones that create interfaces like UI. They're always organized in this tree-like structure. You call them the scene tree. And one node is the parent of many children. Now, this hierarchy is crucial because the child nodes inherit properties from the transformations of the parents. Now, that all seems complicated, but it's really not. You'll see it in example form as we move on. Now, understanding the node tree is going to be the first big checkpoint. Now, you can find this documentation. I'm going to put links in the description below. And if you want to read through it, it's all here for you. Now, when you combine several nodes together to form a functional unit, then you get a scene right here. And you're going to save that as a .tscn file. And you can think of a scene as a blueprint or a prefab for a specific game object, like your player, an enemy, or a pickup item. The power of scenes is that they are reusable. You build one player scene, and then you can instance or place a copy of that scene into your game level as many times as you want. If you update the original player blueprint, all the other instances update Let's jump back to the Godot editor itself. Let's dive into that. Now on the top left here, we're going to have our scene panel. Now this is where your node tree lives. You'll add, remove, and organize all your nodes over here. Top right, you have your inspector panel. Now when you select an individual node, all its settings like position, color, or texture appear here. Now your file system here is where all your files lived, and scripts, images, audio, save scenes. Now keep this area tidy. It'll keep all your checkpoints relevant going ahead in your development future. All right, now we have an output panel down here. Now this is where you'll see all your error messages, and anything you're going to print from your code is going to end up here. And our center is a viewport. Now this is the main canvas where you visually build and arrange the scene. Notice the tabs at the top, 2D, 3D, and script. Now you're going to use all three of these very extensively. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Time to get our hands on the project. In the editor, click 2D scene right here. Now this is going to create a node 2D automatically as a root node. This is going to be the anchor for all of our 2D elements. Now we're going to make this scene visual. Now with node 2D selected here, like we have, I'm going to click this plus icon. We're going to add child node. We're going to search for Sprite 2D. Now we're going to have Sprite 2D selected and click Create. Now with Sprite 2D selected, we can go into the texture here. And this texture is going to be how we display our image. Now we click on this empty slot here. We're going to be able to go down to load. And how about we load the Godot icon itself. And there's the Godot icon. Now you can click and drag it around the scene itself. And then let's add a label for text. You can select the root node again. Click the plus icon and let's do a label. Then you can press enter or just click create. Now with our label selected, we can change our text over here. Let's change it to welcome to Godot Dev Checkpoint. Now we can put this somewhere about right above our guy here. And there we have it. We built a scene, but now we have to save it. So let's go to scene up here. Now we're going to save scene as, and then it's going to put us right in our main folder here. But we're going to create a new one. So right click, new folder, call it scenes. Keeping organized. You'll never regret it. Now this one, we're going to rename it to something more memorable, like say, welcome scene. And you click save. Now after we have this saved, we can run it. Now if you zoom out a little bit, you'll see these blue lines. Now that is going to be where your game is viewable. Without a camera attached to a character, it's going to stay within these confines here. So let's try to play it. Now we have the play buttons up here, pause button, stop button for when we stop running the game. We also have some other ones we're not going to worry about quite yet. Let's just click on the run project. Now it says we have no main scene has ever been defined, so it wants you to pick one. And we're just going to let it pick the current one, because that's all we have so far. Later on, when you have like a main menu, we can make that our main scene. So for now, let's just select the current, and it's going to pop up. And this is our actual game running. Technically no game loop yet, but success. We've navigated the editor, built the node tree, run the very first scene. So congrats. This is the first checkpoint. Once you get across this, well, nothing but up from here. Today we learned Nodes are the building blocks, and scenes are the reusable blueprints made of those nodes. We learned how to build and run a simple scene using a node 2D, sprite 2D, and a label. In the next video, we're going to take this static scene we have here and give it some life by writing our first line of code. We're going to use some GD script. We're going to tell it to output to this console here. Make it say something like, I don't know, hello world. Something standard like that. Now, if you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you get notified when that one's up. Remember, finished, not perfect. You'll learn more from failing than any success. So fail fast and fail often. And always stay curious. See you in the next one.